will carefully observe that tots and toddlers, trials and tweens. Have you heard the word tweens before? You have heard teens, isn't it? Have you heard tweens? Tweens means 10 to 12. Okay, we've learned something new. So we are going to look at today, mostly from ages 10 to 17. How many of you have kids from 10 to 17? 10 to 17. Under 10? Above 17? Some people have no kids. Some people didn't put their hand up or anything. How old are you kids? Under 10. Yeah. I'm hoping to concentrate on 10 to 17, but we will look at others also. So keep your eyes glued on this. Now, PowerPoint is impressive for the talk. Black and white hard copy is very good to remember. PowerPoint you will not, you remember for the time, you understand for the time. Black and white print, you study and remember. So you have to tell your children also, if they are browsing something on the internet, if they want to remember it, get it in hard print. Yes. I gave it out. I gave it almost. It should be just paper of 20 copies. Everyone. So I'll repeat what I said. If you browse something on the internet, if you want to remember, you have to get it on hard print. So if you are studying for an exam, or your children are studying for exams, advanced, or if the school requires them to study on the screen, what they remember, they have to get it on hard print, annotate, make side notes. That's what makes memory, collation, connection, the study process. You can all see this. The study process of memory, collation, connection, recall, apply at the example. All that needs reading from hard print. All that will suffer if you study on the screen. Can we have a vote for that? I now say can we have a vote on that? So your children or yourself, when you are really studying for exam, get it on hard print, annotate, make short notes, underline, see. Best memory is of sunlight. Worst memory is of LED light. And since we can't study only in sunlight now, it is you should have warm yellow light, not LED light. Can we have that is for your studying children. So you can save on the electricity bill with LED lights, but your children will not remember what they study with LED lights. Blue frequency works against memory. Of course, it works against sleep and all that, which is not the topic today. Okay? So let's look at this and understand the first graph. Can we go to the next one? This is a picture of what life can be, much better explained in the Sinhala one. This is Danish, can you see the ears, the y-axis, the x-axis? Is there any way to lift up the x-axis? Can't. What you have on the x-axis, horizontal axis are the ears. This will have it quite clearly. Till the age of 14, for a child, parents protect the gift the child is born with. Now we think God gives every child a gift, and if you work with it, that child or you yourself will go before great men, even before kings. There was a little boy called Dick Whittington, and big problem happened in that country. A famine came and they started eating whatever was there. So they ate cattle, sheep, goat, then they ate dogs and they ate their cats also. So what will happen when you eat cats? Rats began to multiply. And rats produce a disease or carry a disease called bubonic plague. So there were rats in the king's palace also. And the king sent out an appeal saying, please someone come with a cat. Now this story is set in 17th century UK when there was really, plague was a big problem. Mahamari කියලා ලෙඩක් අහලා තියෙනවා. Mahamari. දැන් ඒක නෑ. ඉස්සර ලංකාවේ තිබුණා. ඒක නිසා තමයි fumigate කරන්නේ. You fumigate inside the plane and inside ships because of a disease that was carried by rats called bubonic plague. So there was one boy who said, I will not kill and eat my cat. And his name was Dick Whittington. So when all the king's place was full of rats, Dick Whittington said, oh king, I will come. And king inquired. And the little gift he had, the cat, he looked after. And because of his cat, he went to the king's palace. And of course the story says I think he married the king's son, and the story goes like that. Lesson of the moral of the story is that each of you has a gift that will take you to the highest place. So with your child. So it's a good gift. Will you say with me, good gift? Good gift. It's a good gift. Only thing, you or your child will be happy only when the good gift becomes a complete gift. Will you say it a completed gift? That is, it got 100%. You worked 100%. You got 100% dividends out of good gift. Shall we say again, good gift? Repeat what I said. Good gift. Good gift. To become a complete gift for you and for your child. So till the age of 14, you look after this gift carefully. So if father and mother have problems, or father is not at home, mother is not at home, the child's gift will suffer before he has a chance to develop that gift. Because it's at the age of 14 that he really has to work with his gift. Till the age of 14, what should the parents do? What should the parents do? Protect the gift for your child till he gets to 18. So one way to protect, and one very absolutely necessary thing is, don't give the digital screen before the age of 14. So France has banned the use of the digital screen before the age of 12. France has banned. And before the age of 3, don't give the digital screen at all, please. The child's language will scramble, speech will scramble, he will not be able to speak properly. So on Friday, at least 30-35% of the kids that come with parents, the problem is that their languages can scramble. You know what I mean by scramble? That is, under the age of 5, they can remember what they hear by memory. So they repeat like parrots, not by formation of language. After the age of 5, they have to exercise or use the language they learned in the first 5 years. If you give the digital screen in any measure in the first 5 years, child's language will suffer. Did you understand this? So there's a God-given gift in the first 5 years to absorb 2 languages. A child can absorb 2 languages, but not from the electronic screen, not from e-learning, but from mom, dad speaking and brother and sister speaking. Got that? So there's some aspects of how you protect the child's gift in the age of 14. From the age of 14, he has to work on his gift. So 14 to 16 is what? O-level. Then comes, now we'll put it here, O-level. Then at 16, A-level. Then at 21, he needs to know what field is he going to work with long term. By 28 or 26, he must be in that field. Am I too faster? You can understand. I'll repeat it. So he studies and gets through the A level or goes through NVQ, National Vocational Qualification, and he gets into a field that he will pursue hopefully all his life. Now if you parents agree to them and pay and put them into different courses, they will change courses and not pursue a career. They will say, I want to become pilot. And a pilot's initial course is about 500,000 rupees, 1 million rupees. Then they do that for 6 months or 8 months and say, I can't do that. So don't do this. So when your child is passing through O level, he may go to A level or he may not. So at this stage of O level, you can start NVQ level 1, and in 7 years, he will have a degree, high class, recognized globally, employable anywhere. That is the Sri Lanka's NVQ system. Last 20 years, the best thing that the Sri Lankan government has done is our NVQ system. That's a national treasure. So when your child is going through O level or later A level, not entering university, where should you send your child to? To the National Vocational Qualification System. They will check your child's basket of subjects at the A level. They have expert, qualified, skilled interviewers according to the ability of the child, according to the set of subjects your child did at the A level. They will direct the child to a particular field. We have done this again and again, and their selection is very, very good. And you don't have to spend any money. Most NVQ courses are free of cost. Few courses at level 4 or 5, you will have to pay a very nominal amount like 60,000 or 80,000. Still worth it, because in 7 years' time they get a full degree in the NVQ system, a graduate degree. They are employable in any institute in Sri Lanka. They'll earn at least 50 to 60,000 rupees a month. Such a good graduate degree that will be. So please don't spend money in private institutes trying to educate your children with unemployable degrees or send them abroad. Did you get it? Good news or bad news? Good news or bad news? We are working with Sri Lanka, that will improve. Already we have an NVQ system that is world class. I have researched this. This is the fact. So what parents do is protect it till the age of 14, and then they begin to work on their gift. Then at the age of 28, hopefully they'll be in the field that they will do lifelong. Then by 33, let's put that graph like that. Then by 33 years, they would have achieved how much of their gift? Maybe 33%, maybe 40% of that at the age of 33. How many of you are at 33? Have you all passed 33? Men have all passed 33. So at 33, there's a target. You have got 40% of your gift is now completed. Then by 45, you get about 60% of your gift completed. Will you say it is 65? 60%. You have to repeat what I say, because pedagogy is part of teaching. You repeat like a child because you learn better. So let's say together at 45 years, 60% of my gift. Now what do I mean by gift? Your income level, your skill level, what your juniors are becoming under you, that's also important. Then of course your family future. If I were you, I'll be writing down notes. Income level, skill level, how your juniors are doing under you, and family future. Because everybody is saying, how is my boss treating? It is time you started looking at yourself and saying, how am I doing with my juniors? Because there are juniors at home. That's your son and your daughter. So what you do in the workplace with your juniors will have quite a direct effect on how it happens with your son and daughter. Isn't it? What we sow, we reap, and vice versa. It's an encouragement for you to always concentrate on how is my son and daughter's future. Very quickly on this, mother makes it daily secure in the boundary father provides. Is it okay if I ask you to repeat, or you really feel like I do this with medical students also. Important things they must repeat. What did I say? Mother makes it daily secure within the boundary father creates. That boundary is the possibility for the family. Father has to create it. Mother may be working, but father has to create this boundary. This is what is possible for us. That's what I mean by boundary. And let it be realistic, not pessimistic, and not fantastic. You know what a fantastic way? We can go for a holiday in Thailand and waste your money, and then you get into debt with your credit card. It's not the fantastic holiday in Thailand that's going to make your family secure. What you daily do for your kids. So mother makes it secure and safe within the boundary the father creates. What does the father do? Every day you give for your son and daughter the next step and the next stretch. And that we must repeat. Shall we say together? Next step, next stretch. Who gives that? That's why dad is there. What mom does within the boundary is very good. So father makes the boundary, and there are times when you stretch the boundary. For instance, till the age of 18, you will say, son, you have to come home before what time? Very good. My father said that. So present day young fellows listen to that. What's your name? Lal, do present day young fellows keep the curfew hour at 6 p.m. in your house? They do. That's quite rare, but it's good. Yes, my father insisted that I come home by 6 p.m. when I was in the medical practice. And I did. Of course, times have changed, but you get the principle. So age, a certain age comes now, he starts working, but he's still in your house. Then you stretch the boundary and say, son, now you could give me the reason why you're coming home at 8. Always ask for a reason. But you get the principle. Father establishes the boundary, spending level, future level, possibility level, and he stretches it. And mother makes it the same. So when the little fellow is young, when you come home, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, there's a day that 2.5-year-old, the 3-year-old, is going to transition from the tricycle to the bicycle. Fathers, do you remember that day? Who did it for your son and daughter? Tricycle to bicycle. You must be there. Why? That's a tricky time. He's going to fall, but father comes, brushes, and he's hanging on your neck, and through about 2-3 weeks, he's now able to do the bicycle. They'll remember that forever. Similarly with other things, a little mountain climber place that they have not gone to, and daily at 7 p.m., you are reading a story that will stretch his intellect, stretch his understanding. Did you understand about David Livingstone or Tenzing Norgay Everest or something like that, where he's asking you, and you are explaining, you understand. So what does the son or daughter puts into her head? She says, what I don't know, new thrills. Who teaches? Tati teaches. So when passing 14, 15, some fellow in school says, Machan, there's a marvelous thing called track. Let's try it. What will he say? No. What I don't know, I have to ask from my father. He teaches me the next step and the next stretch, and not my peers. So before the age of 14, you have to establish the fact that for things he does not know, son comes to the father. Did you understand? Very important principle. Passing 13 and 14, they are not listening to you primarily, they will listen to their peers. I'll give this overall and we go slide by slide. I repeat, passing 13 and 14, they won't listen to you primarily. They will be listening to their peers. Because that's the age of peer approval, and you know what I mean. The Guru Naik Kandina Kali, and that's peer Naik and no Naik and Guru Naik, and they want to show it up. So they are living in the eyes of their peers. Before that, you have to get them into your heart, and you have to get into their heart. So 14 is watershed. So here I am saying you protected till 14, then by 28 he's in his field, and by 33 he has got 33% of his life in one field. Workplaces may change, work field must not change. Give me away if you understand. As far as possible, as far as possible. Technical or teaching, or you know what I mean. By between 20 and 22 and 33, he must have stability in the kind of work he will do for life. So when God created the world at the beginning, he created work also. Work was created by God. Work is good for man. Now, because of your institution, I will use God. Actually, God did it. But in a completely secular place, I will just give an academic lecture, you know. But the truth is that if God is in your life and you work with Him, you get so much more bonus. So at 33 you have 33 to 40% of your life done. At 45 years, you have got 60%. If you want to 66%. Then this is your success story. Pretty good. But you're only 45. Mandela lived till 96. You're only 45. What's going to happen to you? Then you are thinking of my significance is what I do for others. This includes your son. After 45, you are thinking more of them than yourself. Did you understand that? Did you understand more? It automatically happens. You'll be still working. You'll be still having important things to do, but your significance comes from how others do it because of you. Can you give me a way? So this is the story. Now we will look at slide by slide. So the similar graph is better described, but it's the same graph. And unfortunately, in this slide you can't see the x-axis. Principles are the same. The child's gift is stewarded by you, and you fill with success. Then you go for making others successful. Next slide. I see no under. There it is. Take a page on it. Isi hatredi pragamane sa punwa. How do this ready supplier? 45. That's in the word I got it wrong. So let it be. We will get to the next slide. Next slide. Now, these are 4 generations. Now present. Baby boomers are my generation. Why were we called baby boomers? Because we did better than our parents. We were in the growth phase when the world was developing. From 1950 to 1980, the world had unlimited opportunities to grow. So our generation grew way beyond what our parents had. Education-wise, visibility-wise, wealth-wise. So we were in a generation the world was growing. Then came 1980 and things were getting not easy. So then arose the bridge generation who are now 40, 45. So those who are now 45, they became peacemakers between a world that was created in God's image and there was bounty and surplus, let me give a word graph for you. So till 1980, baby boomers, our generation, we grew more than our parents. By 1980, the world's resources were already plateaued. Then came the bridge generation, this till 1980, bridge generation, who are now 40 and 40, now 40, maybe 45. They managed to hold the balance between a changing world, though they plateaued. Those 45-year-olds are still working together with the 65-year-olds and the 75-year-olds. Then came the millennial generation. During their time, the world was created in the image, recreated in the image of human needs. IT became very, very big. Fashion became very big. Motor industry became very big. Weapons became very big. Cosmetics became very big. Toys became very big. I have just told you the world's largest turnover industries, the five. Armament, automobile, cosmetics, toys, fashion, confectionaries. World's six largest turnover. That happened from 1980 to let's say 2000. So that is the scenario in which the millennials came into limelight. Now we have the Gen Zs. They are under 25 now. So under 25 now, where will they find employment? What are they mostly doing? I'll repeat this. We boomed till 1980 in the world that was there. Then resources ran down. Then people started finding ways and means of keeping growth happening. So the bridge generation came. They still work with the fathers, and world carried on, though it plateaued. Then came a real boom. World was recreated in the image of human being. You can write it. World was recreated in the image of human demand. I mentioned armament, automobiles. Some are necessary, way too much, others are. Fashion, cosmetics, toys, confection. So you can see that some are way too much. Agree? That's how this boom was created. Now has come again another generation, the Gen Zs, that's the Z generation. They are looking for ways and means of thriving. Today I'm not going to go into it too much. Other than that, I have already told you. We have to get them into meaningful work fields that they can work life for. So they change jobs, they change courses, they feel unhappy. They keep changing. They feel they have to work on their own. They want to be entrepreneurs. I don't want to work for anybody. Have you heard that? I have to find my way through. So they work for 2 years and they go on vacation and picnics for 2 years. We were raised up in a generation, we never depart from our job, isn't it? We keep it, if possible, lifelong. So these people have changed. Now, I can speak like this, other than the young couple there. Most are, baby boomers like us or the bridge generation. But if I come to Lyceum Dayan, I can't speak like this. I have to speak completely from their point of view. How to make life now. Because for them, fathers are extinct species like the dinosaurs. They think like that. But you have worked with a father, and you know how important it is to have a father at the helm of affairs. It is safe. He has wisdom. He sees ahead what's coming. And when dangers come, he will have wisdom to sit together and tackle the danger. So because you are the bridge generation. But out there is another generation who think fathers are the obstruction. Get them out of the way and get moving. So we have to find ways and means of. So I see them every Friday. I see them every Friday. I'm out of depths. This is not a thing I was trained for. I'm a adult physician. And now I'm tackling children and 8-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 14-year-olds, and their thinking patterns have quite changed. Let's see the next slide. So very quickly, lifelong we must maintain our default mode network, which is 1 hour. Every hour, do one thing. I repeat, every hour do one thing. If you are on the screen, stick to one screen during that hour. If you are into social media, stick with one social media thing. Don't go between Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Vimo, Wine Chat, all over. You destroy this God-given cycle. Now again, if I am speaking to people under the age of 25, I'll have to tone this down a lot. Where there is there has come a fellow from Jurassic Park. He does not know what he's talking, but this is my research subject. If you keep your 1 hour, what happens is you will think and do. Will you say with me, think and do?
Think and do.
For the first 45 minutes, salience is work to a point, work to focus. In English language, there's a statement which says, keep to the salient point. That's salience. That's what dopamine does for 45 minutes. Then you sit back, think back, how did it happen? What should I improve? What should I do? That is serotonin. So serotonin works for satiety. Will you say it is satiety? Satiety is you look back and say, I did that well, that part came well. It may be a graphic, it may be an architect designing something, it may be some annual report you are doing, whatever. All students studying some part of the subject. He will look back and say, that was good, but that was not good. I need to do better. So what does serotonin say? I need to do better. And serotonin gives a reward motive for what is well done. Who's saying that? Inside you. I did it well. Have you got that? Haven't you experienced that when some job or work is done and some thing you have gone through, and there's a time you want to sit back and say, yeah, that was good. And that becomes motivation for the next hour. But if a fellow is on the screen, on the digital screen, dopamine doesn't stop, it goes on, and he only wants to be on the screen doing this, that, and the other. Did you understand that? Doing the same repetitive thing. Then he does not get a self-check, check back, is destroying hours and hours and hours. He has no pattern of the default mode network of function. So if you keep 1 hour timetables every hour, even after your work is over, you never get Alzheimer's. I repeat, if you mind your hour till you go to sleep, that is, you roughly know, at 6 I'll do this, at 7 I'll do this, and that can't be Adapitiya, Tulava and Ratuvira, you know, I mean that is useless existence. You're wasting time and you're wasting your retina, you're wasting your prefrontal cortex, and you're free to waste it, but I'm telling you, you're wasting. So, if you keep the hour till your night time, you know what to do. There's a plan inside you, you never get Alzheimer's. Again, if you write 4 pages of A4 sheets in 2 languages, you don't get Alzheimer's. Your brain keeps replenishing and renewing. It's a thing God has given. Language is God's best gift to mankind. Only human beings do language. Agree? I repeat, only human beings do language. So keep at it. It keeps your brain neuroplastic. Next one. Now, some of you have seen this. How many of you have seen this before? Nobody. But since it's with your other set of dogs. I said you drink, or I can have some water or something. This is visible. You can take it home. Now you can follow it on. Maybe this you can follow it on this. This is how we think and do. We plan, we think, and for 45 minutes, it is executive, Vitanayaka, Samyashili, empathic, reflective, Siddhamata, creative, Nirmanashili, initiation, navigation, successful, in conclusion, well done. Who says well done? You say well done. You did it. This is so important for a young fellow to get it. He feels inwardly rewarded for what he did. Otherwise, he'll have an entitlement complex. Someone else has to make you my reward. Someone else has to make it good for me. Nobody is going to make it good for you other than your parents. And parents can't make it good for you after the age of 21. You have to make it good for yourself. Yes or no? So you have to develop that they should get into it. Actually, from the age of 3, this is possible. So initially for 15 minutes, then when they're in school going age at age 5 for 20 minutes, by about age 10 for about 30 minutes, and passing 12 years, 45 minutes, the adult attention span. Will say it in adult attention span. Will you please repeat? Adult attention span. The stretch, the span, the depth, and the intensity makes you brain brilliant. What makes brain brilliant? Attention span, attention depth, and the intensity with which you apply it in the 45 minutes. If you put the screen and play games, the screen is smart, you're becoming stupid. If it's a screen that is doing the thinking, you are reacting like a robot. Fact is that. So keep your attention span lifelong, you won't get Alzheimer's. And teach your young fellow to keep his attention span. That's what makes brain brilliant. So I have a book where I say, train brain brilliant. Nobody is born brilliant. You are born with a potential. What you do with that potential really matters. First 14 years, parents, look after your child's brain tracks. Okay? If what happens is, the other track is a bottom-up track. What happened to you last? The habit you developed last, pornography, gambling, digital screen, anger, reaction, what happened last becomes the memory bias. I will not have time for all this today. Will you say me memory bias? You know, Google has a bias in searching. Way Google is primed, the articles come out. You know how the computers work and search engines work. Similarly, our brain also goes for the memory bias. So once it's in that track, you always come up with the last thing that happened to you. You're not productive, you're not progressing, it is dyspathy, you don't like what's happening, you're not thinking what is best for me, you're not thinking what is best for your parents. That's on the other track, that's how you're thinking what's best, good for my future, good for my parents, good for my tomorrow. In this track, did you see that word dyspathy? මොකක්ද මම සිංහලෙන් කියලා තියෙන්නේ? විෂමශීලී. ආවේගශීලී. පුනරාවර්ති කියන්නේ එකම දේ. ප්‍රතික්‍රියක ප්‍රතිවේදී. So they have a very hostile nature about what is happening to them. So we have to help them. So on Fridays, so many kids come of different ages. I insist father must come. Without father coming, you can't change the boundary. As long as it's good inside the boundary, who takes care? Mom. But when things go wrong inside the boundary, who must set the boundary? Vetat, Nira, Guamkana, Katakianada, Yama. එතකොට ගෙදර වැට සහ නියර හදන්නේ කවුද? Did you understand that? So father has to get involved. So when children come, my secretary always says, Doctor, we not see without the father coming. So they are not patients. They are completely normal kids with great potential. fouled up their head. Did you understand? I don't see patients now. I'm seeing normal kids from 4, 5 years till 21, 23, 24, who something in their learning pattern, functioning pattern has gone wrong. Today I saw a child comes in town on 7 psychiatric drugs at the age of 12. So I actually sent the photo to Dr. Shannon Williams and Harald and said, the meaning of this 12-year-old boy on 7 psychiatric drugs. Put it on. Next one. Next slide. That's the 7 brain tracks. Very quickly, these tracks are developing from the mother's womb. Some of you are young parents who may have another child, correct? Young parents. So then from the time the child is in the mother's womb, mother must consider the child. Medical science now says speak to the child, read a blessing to the child, sing a good song to the child. Your child's brain patterns begin to form while in the mother's womb. Mother's digital life matters. If the mother is into violin music or looking at a violin show, 4D ultrasonics will show that the baby does. Baby can't bear it. 4D ultrasonics is medical research. It is medical research. When you go with the baby, what you get is 3D ultrasonics. You just saw the pattern of the baby, the age of the baby. 4D ultrasonic is like a photograph. And when the mother is looking at some very nasty thing, the little fellow inside is making faces. He feels the sound is terrible, experience is terrible. Did you understand? So much the baby in the womb is connected to the mother. So any amount, this is the British, this is the Royal College of Obstetricians recommendation now. No amount of alcohol by the pregnant mother can be said to be safe. I repeat, no amount of alcohol by the pregnant mother can be said to be safe. You have to tell this to every patient that comes to you. Which means mothers who are pregnant cannot take any alcohol. Now this is known only for the last 3 years. But the pediatricians knew for 10 years or 15 years. But they could convince the Royal College of Obstetricians to issue this diktat. What's the diktat? No amount of alcohol can be said to be safe for the pregnant mother. What is it in plain English? Pregnant mother, don't take any alcohol because it will affect the baby's brain. Understood this? Will you spread this message? So can you imagine from about 1970, 1980, how many pregnant mothers would have been taking a little alcohol and it affected the baby's brain? Understood? So many things have gone on with little baby's brain while they are in the mother's womb also. So this is about the tracks forming. I can't do too much of it today. Okay. Can you see the last 3? You will have a document with all this. Last 3. This document is useful. In that slide, can you see the last 3? Can you read it? Kinesthetic, acoustic, visual. Did you see that? Gamya, Shravya, Drishya. When a child is on the digital screen, those 3 tracks wire up too much. Then the child will not be able to study. Attention span will come down. That is the problem with the digital screen. Not only what kind of program he is watching, just looking at the pixel screen, this is happening. So please don't take 4K camera home, 4K TV home. Repeat. Please don't take 4K TV home because the pixel screen emanates blue light. The blue frequency works against memory, sleep, appetite. The blue frequency. Wherever it is in the house and the television is on, if your son is studying, daughter is studying, his memory is low. The fact is that. Okay? So, when a child is too revved up in the last 3 tracks, he will not be able to study. So we have to tell this in a people-friendly way when we speak to young people. So Diane, the the issue is in for schools, I always say, get parents separately.
Yeah.
For this reason. With them, we have to say it very firmly, but with the young fellows, we have to say it very friendly. So that's the way. Next slide. Now, this is a little bit of cognitive behavioral science. Our deepest, most existence is the spirit of man. There's a place in which you really exist. Then comes our heart of affection. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm going from bottom upwards. Deepest place of our existence is the spirit of man. Then our heart of affection and passion. What is next? Our character, our conscience, our code of decision. We decide and do. That is called the will. In Sinhala, මොකක්ද will කියන එක කියන්නේ? අභිප්‍රාය, අභිමතය, මොකක්ද? Swahili කැමැත්ත, but you understood, no? Code of decision. Then you have your seed of emotion. Then you think you understand, but all this has gone on. Then you have your thoughts. Then you have your brain, the neurons and the neurochemistry, where drugs can act. Got it? But you have how many layers where drugs cannot act and will not act? So many layers. So this is why psychiatry is a very difficult field. Very difficult. It is better to attend on your child from very young age and develop his spirit, heart of affection, you saw that, character, conscience, code of decision. Why do I call it code of decision? Like evidence is brought forth and they decide, even little fellows, they decide. Next slide. Now I will go through few little sections that are available for full seminars. As you know, we are in exercise of seeing what kind of seminars the workfield needs. So I went through a survey, did a moderate study into it, identified some areas that can become a full seminar. Now on the 6th of November, we are doing a full seminar with Professor Shahan Williams on work-life balance. 6th of November, work-life balance. So anger reactions without a refractive period of at least 12 hours before the next anger spike will shift you from top-down, prefrontal cortex, executive, empathic, creative to ventromedial, top-down, bottom-up, that should have been bottom-up, which relates to amygdala, hippocampus, and hypothalamus, survival, pedal, thrill drive. So, if you are getting full force anger reaction before 12 hours are gone, now see, you are very angry. Now think for yourself, what will make you very angry? But this is a seminar exercise, so today we are not going to do that. I'm just giving an example. When did you last get very angry? How long did it take from simmering threshold? You said, no, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. It's pretty bad. Let's say driving on Sri Lankan road. It's pretty bad. I'm not getting it. Then getting it. Getting it. Getting it. Yeah. Or what time you manage your anger. Can you see? So let me pitch for you something you need to consider. We will do this in time to come. Here is the normal person. This is the maximum. Let's say Fahrenheit 212. What happens at Fahrenheit 212? what happens at Fahrenheit 212? Water boils. 100 degrees centigrade. So your peak, you understand my allegory. Just a bit of steam. Next time, if you don't manage it for 12 hours, come fully down. And you are saying, I'm not going to get angry for that. I will not get angry for the next 12 hours. Why? You have been told, if you have 2 anger spikes without a 12-hour interval, you are tipping. You are going to get intoxicated, not with alcohol, with dopamine and other kinds of things that your brain is producing. Give me a way if you understood. So next time, what happens is, if you do this within 12 hours, this will be quicker, it will go higher, and it will take longer to come down. Do you want that to happen? Do you want that to happen? No. You are watching the catalyst. Now, you have told yourself, I will get angry only for that kind of thing. You know the third time what happens? Completely unrelated. You normally would never get angry at a thing like that. But you boiled. Don't know what happened. It lasted till next day. Quite a bit like alcohol intoxication, correct? Do you want to go there? Get the point? So I just drew in 5 minutes what anger management is. You got angry for something, and during the peak, you did not know what you did. We don't want to go there. We don't want to go there. It's not a luxury we can afford, isn't it? We want to manage it. Everybody gets angry, but we want to manage it quickly. And we don't want our peak ever to be anywhere near 100 degrees. So that's one area. Next one. I think I have explained that. We'll go to this. Work-life balance. My son-in-law is working on it. These are his comments. Are you cause person or effect person? Have you heard this definition before? Cause person says, this is the target, this is the product, I'm going to get it. I'll achieve it. The effect person says, I don't know what it is, but so many things are working against me. Boss, this is not achievable. So he's already saying why it is not achievable. He is an effect person. So every company will have cause person and effect person. So we want to shift the company people from effect people to, because they are only reflecting the effect. Reflecting the effect, you can't grow, isn't it? We want to be the cause, and that be a good cause. Next 1 minute. Cause person says, I can by my effort push this product. Effect person says, I don't know why this product is not moving. Moment you say, I don't know, someone else is doing it. Someone else is calling the shots on your work achievement. That's not acceptable, isn't it? Then what will you be? Victim, villain, or hero? This is the work field. Why victim? Because everything is working against us possible. This is not going to work. Victim. Villain, use strong arm tactics, which of course your company is not in that category. Hero is you overcome the obstacles. You understand that? So actually I'm just completely borrowing what my son-in-law told me. I said, I'm doing this seminar, you will have to give me some things you have learned. That's why I just quoted him. Last one is, how many hats can you wear without dropping one of them. So these are about work balance. So Shannon will do some of it. Next one. Anxiety is an imbalance between resources and demand. Some of you heard it in our last session. So when the demand is too much and resources are small, so we can increase the resources and reduce the demand so that you don't be in continual anxiety. Next slide. Stress is a perceived imbalance between the demand you face and the resources you have. Stress produces anxiety when you do your utmost to reach the gap to existing resources. They are tackling the threat. Others move to depression with the label they carry. I cannot do anything properly. Negative appraisal, self-critical. I always fail. I'm good for nothing. They think future is free. So when stress comes, some people move to anxiety, some people move to depression. You need to know your body force. Where are they moving? Next one. Is anxiety good? We all know a little bit of exam anxiety. We do better. So there is a little bit of doing well, but too much anxiety, your performance goes down. Understood that graph? Next one. Next one. I have done this many times. I will not go through this again unless you insist that I do. 5 laws of digital health. Never give smartphones under the age of 3. No screen and feed time. Can you say yes to that, please? Please, for your little fellow's sake, don't give the screen and feed time because that's his best brain brilliant time. Ondama brain brilliant වෙලාවට screen එක දුන්නත් මොකද brain එක not ඒ වෙලාවට please don't give. Now we are already thinking how to handle this fellow without the screen during feed time. Find some method. Please don't give the screen and feed time. Okay. Do not multitask. Keep attention span for 20 minutes. Then these are my 5 absolutes. So with them, I do it in a way that they want to be on the screen. So no mind prohibiting. But we can tell under the age of 3, keep your little fellow out of the screen. Get your help with the feeding time. Do some antics, acrobatics. Get it out. Don't give the screen during feed time. We'll get on to the next one. I have some out of it. Next one. Next one. Okay. Next one. Next one. Next one. Next one. This is our total life. Emotional, social, physical, spiritual, mental, environmental. What has happened to that water pitcher? It has cracked. Next one. So when a child, young man is showing up some issue, it's only a tip of the iceberg. Have you heard that statement? Most of it is under the water. So when your child between 10 and 17 is showing up something, know that there's a lot more underneath. Don't be late. So showing up what? Dropping grades, getting late, getting up late, food habits change. He either doesn't come to sit with you and eat, or he's not eating much. He's getting thin. He's into something. Did you understand that? So those are a quick thing about how to recognize there's an iceberg underneath that you are only seeing the tip. Detect it early. Next one. Now, the arrows haven't come in. There they are. Those are the first 5 years and the next 5 years. Did you understand that? Not to 5 and 6 to 7. Now, the figure on top, 1 to 5, the most important figure is mom, 6 to 7, 6 to 10, that has to come in a lot more. The father's main role in the first 5 years is just be present for the little fellow to hear often. Most of it mother has to do, obviously. Okay? Mother imparts intimacy. Father imparts confidence. So when a child has not had mother close at hand, he fears his inside. He fears to make relationships. If a child has not had father close at hand, he fears his outside. He will not take the decisions he has to take. That's the rule of thumb. You understand the rule of thumb? Children who's, not having mother, meaning if they had illness in the earlier, they had to be put in an incubator. Other illness, or mother had illness, you understand? Or mother went to work very early. In those situations, it is his intimacy that is affected. He fears to go into his inside. But when the father has been absent, his confidence is affected. He fears his outside. Even simple things. He'll go and cry and come home, can't go to school now. So mom, this side is what mom gives, providing care and nurture, maintaining social network. So mom has to make the little fellow by the age of 3 go out and have contact. If you put the child on the screen, he will not have any contact. Then mom makes home. What is father doing? Be present with me at that. That's what the father does. That's what the father does. Establishing moral authority. So who should say no darling? Dad. About the screen, who should say no darling? Dad. So kapulwa adete yamin මොකක්ද කියන්නේ කපුල් පුතාට no darling. එක හරියන්නේ. So when you are going home, don't go with your smartphone in your ear. Put it out of sight at least for 1 hour. At least for 1 hour. Did you? Difficult. 1 hour? Yeah. I think you all smiling. So it is not entertainment. It's not Vadapitya, Radvira, Tulab or anything. What's that other thing? That everybody's voice is imitated? Never mind. But try to do this. When you go home, that first hour, be without answering emails, WhatsApp. You can recover home in 1 hour. I challenge you. I repeat, in the first hour you are at home, be 100% at home. I think this is trial. Trial. You understand what trial? Try and see. You are going ready this next hour, maybe 6:30, 7:30, whatever hour you go. Next hour you say, I'm fully at home. I'm available to my wife and my kids for 1 hour, 100%. Try and see. I'm saying it is possible. Try and see. And that you would have recovered all the hours you were absent in that one. Pack all the quality into that one. Sit with them, eat with them, you yourself serve the food and bring to the table. Don't think it's mother's work. If they feel dad is fully at home, it affects them greatly. The 1 hour you give them, give all you have. Think of everything of making that 1 hour. Heaven came home. You say heaven came home.
Heaven.
Why? That came in that 1 hour. I assure you, keep that 1 hour. You would have recovered a lot with your child. Passing 14, 15, they'll have wonderful memories. My father was a very busy man. My father was a teacher. I was studying in St. Thomas's, so teacher's income is not great. So he had to always give tuition. He was a well-known maths teacher. So all evening he's giving tuition. He's at school, then when we come home, our home is like a huge tutoring. All the time he's teaching. But at 5 o'clock, like clockwork, he comes out and plays cricket. While the students are there, maths sums can be given. For about good 20 minutes, he's bowling and I am batting. Always it was like that. He bowls and I bat. Now, how old I am? I'm 45 plus. 45 plus 240 months. But I still remember how he kept that thing with me, and I still do. I never wanted to ask my dad for how to study mathematics because my father is very patient. I was quite okay in my maths, so I didn't go to ask him mathematics. But I waited for him to come and play. So you find a niche that your child will best appreciate what you do. Is that possible? That's possible. And on Saturday, for heaven's sake, God's sake, and home's sake, find some daylight hours. Is that possible? Don't push it back to a fantastic holiday in some Disneyland, Wonderland, Foreign land. Every Saturday, let Disney come home. Understood what I'm saying? Plan something, a Saturday, 1 hour, while daylight is there. Okay. I think I spoke for a long time. I think it's so I've given you sort of, this last one is a full seminar actually for about 2-3 hours. So we have done a bit of work life, anger management, stress, this home thing, Home needs a father. There's a parallel one, mother decided, but today we got gone. Maybe mostly men here, I believe that home needs that. That's the title of this home needs and my usual is okay. I think we have spent a good evening. There are some books, you can buy some. Any questions of the floor? Just for 5 minutes. Any questions of the floor? Medical, or what I spoke, something in your mind, what about your child? Every Friday I see kids and parents. You can ring the telephone number of my secretary and pharmacy. Sorry. We have a fully equipped empathic therapy center, empathic music center, and empathic learning center, which gets the brain tracks to good order. Whichever age. Okay.